So it's not that often that I make live streams, like probably like two in a row, and probably this is gonna be the only live stream for this week. I'm not sure honestly, but anyways, my name's Carlo, and with every live stream, if you are new here, you might hear like an echo of my voice. That's because since I'm the only one moderating this live stream, then I have to make sure that the stream is working fine. So yeah, if you have any questions, just be sure to put it in the live chat. Otherwise, let's get started. Okay, so basically in the folder that we made for KTech Technology, basically we were able to create, well, an index and a styles.css file. And if you haven't watched the how to build an HTML and CSS website, I will highly recommend that you stop watching this stream for a bit and just go straight to the how to build an HTML and CSS website. But basically what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be adding some more decorations to it, and we're going to be making it live. So let's get started. So we're going to be using in the last video we were using Notepad. Now we're using Visual Studio Code. And with Visual Studio Code, we can it's actually a more cleaner design on how we can design a website. So just simply go to your desktop or wherever you've put your index files, and then go ahead and just go straight to the folder that you've organized this. Now, actually, yeah. So now we're just going to select the folder, KTech Technology, of course, and we're going to open both of these. And I'll just drag it right here. Okay, so we have now a more organized solution on this. Let's see, what else can we do here? Okay, so with this, now that we have all of this set up, basically what we're going to do next is we're going to, well, add some files. Or not add some files, sorry. Add some decorations towards it. So I'm just going to open the website right here. Just have it with you. And what we're going to do is add some decorations. Be sure to do Alt-Z. That just does word wrap, basically. So here we have this, and then the link, and linking it to the style sheet. And now we're just going to, since we already have all these files, now we're just going to go straight to here. Let's go ahead and do body section. And we are going to, let's try to make the width a little more smaller. So we're just gonna go ahead and do this and put width, and actually wait a minute, instead of doing that, let's go to the index file, and then what we're gonna do is add a div. So what a div is basically it's a tag where we, in a way, or not space it out, but basically it makes it easier when you're decorating files. So what I'm going to do is just do div and then just do ID. Now with an ID tag, make sure that with the ID tag that there's only one. Well, you can, but it's not really right if you do. You can do it, but you know, it's just simply just for organization. Let's see here. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna do div ID, and I'm gonna put it right here onto here. And now we can just organize and then just put content. and we're going to do hashtag content or pound content, however you want to call it. And what this does is basically it's you're saying which what's the identification for that tag. So we're going to do that. And with hashtag content or pound content, we're just going to do width 75%. And that should be a good enough space. So now you'll notice that there's a big white space right here, or it somehow cuts off. That's what we want it to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to move it, and what we would do on this is just do margin dash left auto margin dash right auto. Margins are basically it's basically like a Word document where each side is a where you can actually change the margins of all your text or some text and just move it a certain way. So when I do that, it'll just if you know a little bit of HTML and CSS, you might have noticed that there's something called, if I do that, then it won't center it perfectly. If I'm giving it only a certain width, then basically it's not going to, even though this will center perfectly, it's not going to have the width 75%, if that sort of makes sense in a way. Okay, so we got that all set up. Now it looks a little congested. It looks like everything is too close to each other. It's a little mess. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the header tag right here. And I'm gonna put it on top of here. And with the header tag, it just seems a little congested. So I'm just gonna do padding, or not padding, let's do margin, because if we do padding, basically it's still associating with the text, and every time I highlight something, it might interfere with the text. Here, for example, if I do this, padding 1%, then if I were to do this, like if I were just to hold my, to left click and hold, and I would go around, basically it will also highlight the KTech technology side. So this can get in the way with buttons. Let's say you want to make a button or like a little Easter egg where the period is something. Well, if you do that, then basically it spaces out everything that's around it, and it's like giving it its own size. So if you want to do margin, that can make it disappear in a way. So with margin, you see if I try to left click, now this only is the one that highlights. It's because this is the only one that, well, we didn't give it a margin. Exactly. But yeah, basically we would be able to, it won't be interfering. You'll notice that it does highlight, it's because I'm going on top. But that sort of is the gist of it. Okay, so now since that was the only header tag, now we have all this other text. And let's go here. And basically what I want to do is make it is space it out basically. So here it says welcome to KTech Technology. Welcome to the KTech Technology YouTube channel. And this channel will be discussing the main points of programming, computer hardware engineering, and other ways on programming with technology. So we can give this an identifier. So we can just say, or not class, we'll just do ID again and just do description. So we gave it a different name. So I'm just gonna go put it under the content section, and then I'll just do hashtag description or pound description, whatever you want to call it, and we can just call it margin 2%. So now it'll do that. Now something looks a little weird. So what we'll do actually is, actually let's start centering text first and try to give it spacing before we do anything. other than that. Now with the welcome to KTech Technology and then KTech YouTube channel and such, then we have H2 and the P tag. So why won't we just do another div? And we'll do class this time, and then we'll just call it spacing. Now with the spacing, and remember you can name it other things, but I'm just calling it spacing. What we want to do with spacing is we want to give it some, we want to space it where every time that is used, it spaces it from the top to bottom, make sure that it's readable also, or it can be read. We'll just say that. So I'll do margin 1%. And that basically is saying that the top, bottom, left, and right will also be spaced out. And here we go. So now we need to space out this one because I want people to read it, of course. So with the dot spacing, we'll just do a p tag and then just do margin 0.5%. All right, and that spaces it out so it's more of spaced out and it can be read. Now we need to, let's see here. Let's try increasing the font on the spacings. So with the font size, we can just do like 16 pixels this time. That's a p tag, right? That is a p tag. So maybe 25. Let's try that. Nope, not that. That's too big. We're going to do 18. Okay. So we got that set up. That's cool. So something's a bit wrong. We don't, this just seems a little dated. The KTech Technology on the top and then just right here. So let's do this. Let's just get rid of the HR tag altogether. We'll get rid of description right here. Now we need the KTech Technology. We don't, for me, I don't really want that to be centered. So we'll go straight to header, but we will do, and what was the tag called? Header H3. Now when you do that, we can just do float left. What we're doing with float left is basically we're forcing it to go to the left side, and when we will go on more tools and developer tools, then basically it will always stay on the left. We're basically just forcing it, and then the text just automatically assumes that it's disappeared, and it just moves it back to the top. This is because it doesn't think this exists, but it really does. Let's see here. This might help actually. Okay. So I'm gonna open up snipping tool, but don't worry. This is sort of related with HTML, but let's think of this. And I know my amazing art skills are going to help in the long run, and I don't have a pen. Yep, I am sorry that people are watching my amazing art skills. Anyways, you'll notice why I squared each certain one and I didn't just square the whole thing. Well, basically, each square is its own boundary. So, of course, I'm just gonna make this up, but this is like the H3 tag, this is the P tag, and this is like H1. I'm not sure. But yeah, let's think of that. Now, with these tags, we're giving each box a certain name or a certain letter or yeah, a certain tag just to give it. And with that, we can actually organize it where this will be, let's say, float left. And what float left is well, you get the gist of it. But like, yeah, with float left, basically, it basically, so with HTML and CSS, basically it's like this. It uses both sides of the spectrum. It uses both sides of the browser or the website. But but we can remove these arrows by using float left, or you can just do float right, so this KTAG technology will go to the right. Now, this can get a little confusing at first, but stay with me. Basically, with the float left, you can do a lot of things. This could be used for logos. This could be used for uh, news sites when you're trying to put an image on one left, and then your sentence, and then right here on the right another sentence, and so on, right? But yeah, there float left and float right is very used. It can be used, but it varies, and you need to be careful how you use it, because if because with float left there are some things it disables with your code on CSS or HTML or even JavaScript. It could sometimes make it disappear if you're not careful. You can't add a background anymore, basically. So there's not going to be any background anymore. So you got to be really careful with that. So I hope that sums it up a little. Anyways, so now let's go ahead and welcome to KTech Technology. So since we have the header and I want to add spacing, I don't want the welcome to KTech Technology sort of on top of there. Like it's sort of in the way, right? So what I want is I want to move this to the bottom. So with that, I'm going to move the spacings. Actually, there might be a different way on this. Instead of using a float, we can use something called display inline block. Oh wait, not that. Okay, never mind then. Let's just do float left. And with float left, we can just trying to see. Okay. With the spacing, yeah, we'll just do margin dash top and we'll do 5%. Ooh, that did something. We did float left. What is the spacing under? No, wait, yeah. Unless I put it under content. That should not move. So I'm going to give it ID spacing, or spacing H. Ooh, can't type today. Alright, spacing H2. And we're going to put margin dash top equals 5%. That is really weird. Ah, wait a minute. Instead of putting in the H3 tag, why not we just put it on the header tag? Now, okay, now it changes. But we don't want it associating with this. So, where are we spacing? Why not we just do float left? There we go. So now, yes, we moved it down. Perfect. And if we use developer tools, and just to make sure, yes, it changes. Okay. So now we gave it a, now since we floated that to the left side, basically now it's on the bottom, and we want it to do that. So welcome to what is KTAC Technology? KTAC Technology is a YouTube channel, and so on and so on. Now I want to let's add some more text, because basically this just looks really, really bland at this point. So I'll add another spacing, and right here we'll just put here we learn programming, or not programming, because the goal of this is something else. We learn the fundamentals of technology education. Never, and entertainment. Never the other way. Okay, so basically now I'm just adding information. You don't have to follow this. You can just basically add other information that you may wish. And okay, so yes, we have added that. So now let's go back here, and we got that. Just trying to think of what else we can add. Oh, okay. Let's do a unlisted and ordered list, basically. So what we will do is let's add another div class spacing, and then right here we'll do h2, and then do what we learned. Yeah. So let's go ahead and add a unordered list. So basically there's two different kinds, ordered list and unordered list. And with that, there are different types of that you can do. So you can just do a numbered list, or you can just do an unordered list and just come and number it yourself, or do bullet points, something like that. And it's basically just basic organization with your code. Or just really the description of what you want to say. So here with the unordered list, we'll do li. And these are basically each section of the unordered list. So this is basically your p tag. So with the li tag, we're going to do, let's see, what do we teach? JavaScript in code.org. That is one thing we teach. Alright, so we have that, and basically, and I like the float left because now it was able to put it to the left side of it. So since we got that, now I'm trying to think of what else we can add. Okay, so now I've added this text, and of course it's going to just do that. Now this looks a little boring again. So what I'm gonna do is just do a div again, div, and then this will be a right float. Or actually no, this will be a section code. So with the section code, I'm going to do spacing 1 and 2. Remember, you can name it anything else you would like, but I'm just going to name it that. And with that, the hashtag section code or pound section code or however you want to call it, I'm going to do spacing 1. So actually, I'm going to leave that open for a bit, and I'll just do float left. And spacing 2, and we'll do float right on there. So let's see what's going on here. Because we want this to go to the right side. So it might be because we're trying to center it. So there we go. Now, what's going on here? Well, basically, we are forcing it to, well, go to the right, and now it's having some issues. So let's just do flow right. Or, sorry, that's not right. Let's restart that, and we'll just do flow right there. Okay, something happened. What happened here? Okay. What's going on? Now you're just not changing anymore. What we do to educate you. Hmm. What we do to educate you. Alright, well, this is fun. Spacing 1, but there's nothing on here. Oh, wait a minute. I think it has something to do with this. Just curious. Huh. It's having issues with this part. So we'll just do float left. And right here on hashtag spacing 2. Just curious what it would do. So when I said that mistakes will happen during your programming on HTML and CSS, then basically it will, well, how should I say this? It won't display it correctly, but programming, yes, is a hard language. Because there is a community based, and with that community based, with that being community based, there is a variety of ways that on how you can program a certain thing. And basically, if you want to position your text in a certain place, then you can say float left, or you can just go position it yourself by doing like display, uh, or yeah, display it a certain way, and then just do top 50%, left 50%. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that yes, programming is a hard language, and you're gonna have to use the community out there for help also. And yeah, but I'm not saying that you can't learn it from this video. But you know, there are a ton of ways that you can position text and such. So let's see here. Because we want to put this on the right side. So on the right side, basically, how can we do this? Oh, I just had an idea. Just had an idea. With spacing 2, we can just do with 70 or 50%. There we go. I needed to do this. So let's put it on the, so we just need to shorten it, and then basically if I were just to do float left, for example, now it will go to the right. which is what we want it to do. If we put it to the right, there we go. Now it's better. Okay. So we've added positions to the text that will make it work. So now, since I want to sum it up now, I want to make it where it will go to the right side, or go to GitHub. So if you don't know what GitHub is, basically GitHub is a way where you can create, or not create, but it's basically a way where you can make your website go live. But GitHub is a very large community where you can also share other codes like JavaScript, Python, C+. There's a variety that you can choose from. So GitHub is free to use, and I do recommend it if you are creating your very own website. So right here, it's kind of it's a little simple on how to create one, but let's start putting the files onto GitHub, of course. So we'll create a repository, and yes, I'm the owner, and repository name, we'll just name it KTech website. It'll check if it's available because it can't have the same repository name that's already exists, and we'll make it public. And we'll create the repository right here. Okay, so now that we got that all set up, we need to import some code. Okay, I see we have to first create add a file. So, oh, not that. Oh, here, upload an existing file. And then, sorry, usually you can just drag it, but really now you should be able to drag it now. But now since we can just import the index and styles file, we just commit the changes. Make sure to add what you are adding. So adding index and styles, and commit the changes. It'll process the files. And let's go to settings. Now when we go to settings, we need to go to GitHub pages right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to select the branch, just put it on main, on the root, and click save. And it says that your site is ready to be published. So let's talk about the other settings here. So when you're creating a custom domain, basically your domain will be, it will basically be your like www.something.com. Basically it's like that, but you will need to pay for a domain. The GitHub does let you host your website for free, which is nice, but there are some things that we are limited to. If you are just using a free account, you can definitely just get a professional repository, or get their other services on their account. But after that, then there's something else called enforcing HTTPS. So what HTTPS is basically if your website is sharing data with if let's say the viewer of the website puts something on a form, forms, right? Like entering their name, right? And then they click submit. Basically, it's like a secure socket layer, SSL. Basically, it's so the viewer and the server, no one can penetrate like that all the data that's going to the server and then going back to the viewer. So they can't access that. So it's a secure like tube, basically. No, but that tube is indestructible and they can't cut the middle. So yes, and it does sum it up right here. Now let's see. We're able to do that and then select the branch. So really, it will just give you your own domain, or your own example domain. Now, for some reason, I'm not sure why it's not importing. That's all right. Huh. I know I'm forgetting something. Because for some reason, it's not working. There isn't a GitHub page here. Technically, this should work, unless it's just trying to have issue, or it's just causing issues. And I know it shouldn't be the docs folder, because it should be on the root. Unless it's loading, which I'm going to assume it is. Well, anyways. Alright, so yes, we were able to do that. And basically, that's all I'm really going to talk about, because really, this is just what live stream is. Basically, the goal of this stream was just to put your website live on GitHub. But I don't want to leave, because I don't want to lead you. There we go. Now it's working. So yes. So now, we were able to design a website, and then it would go straight to here. And then people can view the page source right here. So I'll be sure to share this on the description of this live stream. Yeah, on this live stream. And yeah. Basically, the goal was just to decorate it and do that. And yes, we were able to decorate it and position it. This may have not been, if you were expecting colors and other stuff, then really that is a different video, because decoration is basically, for me, it's just to position it in a certain way. But then we'll be going over fonts, colors, background colors, and so on. And basically, that's what I really just want to talk about today. Well, anyways, if you have any questions, put in the chat right now. And yeah. If anyone has any questions. Okay. Well, anyways, I want to thank you everyone for watching. And if you were expecting a code.org app lab video or live stream, that will be coming out soon. But anyways, thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you guys later.